Hi, Cat Mooney coming back at you, September 17th, 2022. I just got a quick opinion on my heart that I believe it's a good thing that Princess Anne decided to participate in the Prince's Vigil, because that brought attention to the fact that Prince Andrew still exists on the planet. So I believe that was the whole purpose of her being there for the Prince's Vigil. I believe nobody in their right mind would want to perform that duty, to just stand in front. It's a very demanding vigil, I believe. I would never want to have to do that, ever. It seems very trying and vulnerable and arduous and very supernaturally important to speak about and celebrate. I believe magical occurrences, death's part of the human experience. Something magical has happened. It's not the magic we like to have happen. It's the opposite. It's the, oh no, it's the dark side, where'd she go type feeling. We miss her. We feel we're in pain. She was 96 years old, people. I believe when people are 96, there might be some physical pains, maybe psychological pains and spiritual pains enough that exceed the value of staying here with all of us. Did it ever occur to you that maybe she just got sick of all of us because we're kind of a drag on her disposition? After all, the status of the Earth's consciousness, that's not the standard. The standard being Queen Elizabeth II, her being a standard for the Commonwealth. Yeah, we're not like that. Most of us, we're nothing like her. So how about we giddy on up to Mary Poppins and try to decide to be more civil and less hateful with one another, right? I'm just saying what's on my heart. And I say that because there is little emotional support or emotional maturity that is available for public viewing on venues like the internet. So when I see people doing their best in extreme circumstances, such as the death of a family member and royal world leader, world political figure, world influencer of all of your stations, the Queen Elizabeth II, her actual physical death, really, that happened? Yes. And now what's going on with the rebirth of the nation that she left behind? As individuals, you're going to have to change something about your daily routine to uplift your spiritual centers of brain operant zones that are executioning out how you're doing in your day-to-day self-care. It's important when people mourn, and people are collectively mourning on the globe about Queen Elizabeth II, about her physical passage into the inaccessible, the forever quiet. But she gave us so many memories on video, you may have a hard time detecting if it's new information from her. Is she talking to you personally? Or is that the collective hearts and minds hearkening upon your own neuro frequency, your own resting and active membrane potentials and synapses? What's going on? How are people responding to the climate change, not just as evidenced by Noah's Ark phenomenon, flooding China, flooding India, flooding the American Southwest, Los Angeles, flooding Texas, Dallas, Texas, flooding East Coast, flooding Kentucky, flooding like never before. Anybody who is from the hollers that used to go spelunking in the caves is probably not able to safely do that anymore. Not with all the flooding. I wonder if it's flooding out any corpses of serial killers being unearthed to law enforcement and authorities. We just can't talk about it and tell you how many bodies we found floating with that last flood that came on through. Does anybody ever wonder about that? I know I do. I'm glad to hear about the updates about Lake Mead in Nevada with the body counts like at 5 that I know of. This last body they found in Lake Mead, they found, again, because it's dehydrating over there. It's a big old lake. Used to provide energy to different areas. Anyway, now it's drying up because it's been so hot outside on the globe for the past 22 years consistently. That's right. All you people that have environmental science degrees, you're all fired. Go kill yourself. Either one is an option that the planet will justify and allow and support you with. Just turn on your oven at home and just go to sleep. Okay? Just turn it on. Let it. When you hear the shh, that's how you know you're doing it right. That's one to grow on from China. All right? I'm not trying to curse anybody off the planet. This is Darwinism in action. What it look like September 17th, 2022. Give you something good to look at, or you can be all through. It's up to you. Take it however you want. In the land of Cardi B, I know I'm allowed to say some things. I'm thankful for women like Cardi B and Madonna, because if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be able to speak up. It's only because they are extremely unusual, non-status quo people. That's why y'all look at them and they're not my usual forces. I have to understand. Just because I want to be in that force of being like those women doesn't mean necessarily those are the forces surrounding me. And that's called discrimination or ignorance or isms. Whatever separates and divides people for the negative influence, we have to just recognize that those are forces, principles, and principalities. All right? There's magic in the Carl Jung phenomenon of collective unconscious group thought phenomenon. There is such a thing as resting membrane potential, which is a voltage amount that exists within your cells. You have a certain amount of voltage existing within your healthy, ozoning, effectively cells. You are electrified. We are all currents, okay? But we're not to be used to be plugged into or to put our fingers into sockets. Not in that way. So, the ability to harness electrical power, thank you, Tesla, in a way like never before, is something that can unite us all. Communications advancements, thank you, Tesla, Nikola. He never liked horses. His brother died. His brother was killed because his brother fell off a horse and died. So I don't believe Nikola Tesla was out there trying to go play home on the range in New York. So he died like really old and alone and gay. So I choose to never be gay. Anyway, I can only speak up for abortion today. Today's just abortion day. Today's hot topic, today's trigger zone is going to start with the letter A. We have abortion. Next up on the list, anal. Hot topic, trigger zone, starting with the letter A. First up, abortion. Second up, anal. With no regard to alphabetical order, with no regard to anything synonymous or antonymous. So, without regard to further delay and without further any go ahead and fire off your A word of the day. Asshole. Anaphylactic. Yeah, we knew you were allergic. That's why we put it in there. Welcome to Cafe Anaphylactic. You've heard of the Heart Attack Grill in Las Vegas, Nevada, right? I believe if you weigh 350 pounds, according to their rules, they'll let you eat a 1 pound cow burger 1 pound of another animal. You'll watch your human eat a pound of cow for free. They'll let you sit down, take your fat 350-pound self, sit you on down on a feeding trough station or at a table of your choice. Feeding trough station to me, dining table to you, it's all the same. You call it a dining table, I call it your feeding trough station. You believe you're looking good and fine dining, looking well established with all your china cabinet, your display of fresh foods, baked, processed, pre-purchased, or homemade, to whatever extent. That's what I see. I see your personal feed troughs are in order. I see you pay attention to that part of your life. That's what I see you devote your time to. Yep. Feeding your face, sitting down, getting around, all around. That's what I see and hear and smell. I smell it. You smell it, Pear? Can you smell it, Pear? Smell it, baby. Smell it. Sniff it. There you go, baby. Sniff it again. Good boy. Good baby. I love you, Pear. Here, just look at the Pear. He's a good breather. He tends to really emote with his rate of respiratory rate and with his nature of respiratory effort. Is it a sigh? Is it quick? Is it heavy? Shallow? Listen to the Pear as he breathes. And just tune into the Pear air. Pear, Bear, the caring air, the care air. Pear, Bear, care air network, the care air. Pear, Bear. Soulful vision, soulful vision. Soulful vision, Pear. Pear, Bear, soul vision. Soul time with Pear, Bear. It's soul time with Pear, Bear. He lay down. Now he lays down on his back. Posing Pear. He loves it. He's a good boy. Here. He's like, look at me, mommy. He's going to breathe. I'm going to put this down. He's breathing. Now he's doing his breathing thing. Tell me how you do the breathing. Breathe for him, Pear. There you go. Good baby. My good baby. I love you. Everybody loves a good, well-behaved Pear. And this is a male, unneutered terrier, Chihuahua, Pit Bull, Dachshund mix of some type. Some type of rat terrier dog, a foraging, a hunting dog, a companion dog, a dog that can, he's caught a couple things from the other house in the yard, rodents, and killed them. He's the presenting Pear. He never eats the carcass. He'll simply kill and retrieve, fetch and retrieve. He kills it and returns it home. He kills and retrieves. He's a retrieving terrier. He's not just a terrier saying, hey, I see you and I'm going to bark at you. He's a do something about it breed of dog. He will kill that which offends him. I am not offended by the birds. He has made no attempt to annihilate any birds. I'm grateful because once your dog is able to kill birds, that's the next level kill dog. I had a dog in Hawaii that was able to kill mongoose. I got her from the dog pound. I called her Booby, and she was a gold-colored, medium-sized retriever variety of dog with floppy ears and a long tail. And she had on her little puppy elbows and joints pressure, calluses built up, patches of skin and missing fur on her doggy elbows and her doggy hocks, any pressure points. Imagine a dog if it had to be probably chained up and laying on concrete all its life, and missing hair on the bony prominences of her body. So that was Booby. So she looked really pathetic. She looked like a greyhound. like a retired race dog. She wasn't. She was just malnourished as a rescue dog that I got from the Hawaii Humane Society. Anyway, she would kill mongoose and birds. The worst thing you can do if you're walking a dog is to have your dog on a retractable leash. Any dog with any ability to kill food is going to make you fall on your face with a retractable leash, because by the time you realize your dog has taken off from you, that's because you fell down. That's how quick your dog is. A dog doesn't ask for permission to go kill something once it's learned how to kill. Like, for so long it just kills without nobody caring. Like, what if your dog's bored and has nothing better to do? Or what if your dog's just, I don't know, she's just triggered. She didn't know any other language. She didn't have any other relationship with me besides our walks. She never interacted with me at home in a social way. That was the skill set of a dog that's able to procure mongoose and procure birds from shrubs in my front yard while walking with me on a leash. Yeah, she just did her thing. She'd go kill it and then back to walking with me like nothing happened. She never tried to take it back home. She never sniffed around it and tried to play with it. She never tried to annihilate the carcass or imbibe it or just make a big mess of it or explore it like a cat or anything. No. I used to watch Thomasina eat mice at the other barn. I didn't watch the whole time, but I would just peek in and say, how you doing with that mouse? And she would just go and put it in a corner and just quietly, just with herself, just focus her attention on her little dinner. But she didn't eat I believe she didn't eat the liver. I believe that was the one part she did not eat that she left behind, because it looked like a little piece of something from like a human anatomy kit that you would get from like Radio Shack or a learning, like a learning website, something that was 3D models to learn. So I'm like, oh, this must be a gross part. I bet it's like the liver, because nobody likes liver unless you have onions. And a cat, they're not able to go cut their own onions and fry liver and onions, the mouse version. And that's why. Now, onions, for some reason, and liver, and brown gravy, and stroganoff noodles make a good combination. Something about the salted butter and the stink of that vitamin, that fat-soluble vitamin A rich leather. It can be toxic to pregnant women. I believe liver is a toxic food for pregnant women. So, and also, it's a weird food to eat. It's just, it's one of those foods where people ate that because there was no other part to the cow left to eat. They saved that part for last. L is for last. Hello. Liver, eat that part last in case we don't make it, in case we're still here and it still hasn't anything grown from the ground. We're going to have to carry this piece of meat with us. It stays cold easy. Nobody wants it. We'll always have it, in the cold section of the yard. My keep out section of the yard with the house built over it and the hole in the ground so the animals can't get to my liver or my meat products, or I don't know what people did in the cold ages when they didn't have electricity and they weren't able to store. Because it's getting hot in Alaska. So anyway, Pear breathing. He comes sit with me. My dog just comes to sit with me. I love him. He's a good boy. He's a good baby. I like to massage his neural pathways. I like to just look at dermatomes. Where are your dermatomes? Ooh. I like to look at him as one big nerve bundle. One big bunch of compliant and very pleasant dendrites. See, that's appreciating him, I believe, from the scientific level as a wonderful creation of the cosmos. created by the God of science, who is in charge of what? The laws of gravity. That's right. The God of the Christian Bible, home to the Catholic Church, as represented to the world by his son, who, what? What's his name? Jesus Christ, the one and only. So yeah, I am an appreciator of world religions. However, the only religion I've ever spoke up for is Christianity and Catholicism. So, and I love all things supernatural. I love all things Ouija. I love all things seance. I love all things crystal. I love all things green. I love all things wicker, man. I love all things that are wood and stone and soil and air and water and G's. I can love. I don't have to say, please. I can just choose to love and have my own energy created right here unto me. I just choose to love, and I can do my own little in the closet dance of energy. Raise my vortex. Now let's go. Woo woo. I just sit here and do this all day. I'm just bored. I'm wanting to get my taxes done. I want to go buy a pair of horses. I'm thinking about just getting a couple of BLM horses and taking them to my barn here down the street. If they made it to that farm, they can make it to the one down the road here. It's just an hour away. So I'm really considering just going out there. I need to check the status of area fire control, how those operations are going. Are they able to increase their containment levels of the current, fires in the surrounding region here, surrounding me in Northern California? That's where I live, right in the middle of all of it. So, got to make sure the air quality is conducive to good health. But hang on, everything's going to get washed away. That's bad because there's going to be a good storm front coming through next week. From what I understand, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, if I remember correctly, per my daughter informing me personally of her review of the local weather conditions coming up for us in the forecast, in discussion of what classical hoofbeats dressage center. I want to check them out. I want to be a student. I want to help out. I want to be something good for horses. So ponies too, woo woo, coming through. Want to let them have time to have clean air and get all the waste things, wash it all through and through. It's good to have that cleansing, to have a good, a good cleansing. It's been so hot. It's been so dreadfully hot. And then the fires, that's what occurred. That was the sequence of events. It was 110, 115 degrees consecutively for about 2 weeks straight. And then fires erupted to the north and to the east of me. That's what happened. It's crazy over here in California, these conditions of fire. However, that's because I believe there are people that are at accountability for this issue, just as there are people that are going to help relieve this issue of fire. That's why I'm just first and foremost thankful for the continued effective operations and safety for all California firefighters. They need to keep on being hydrated and keep on being adequately fed. They have to run their bodies like fluid and electrolyte machines. They guzzle fluid and electrolytes. They have to be within balance. They could get brain damage out there from sweating to death in those suits that they have to wear to not get physically just burned up really quicker. It's terrible what they go through. So how about some innovations? I wonder what they have anything available to therm them with technology. Is there an insert they can wear in their underwear to keep their core temperature down? That way they can have more heat tolerance. Is that something built into their outfit? A little cooling device, you know? We got a crotch burner here. Some crotch patties for you. What is this? Anti-crotch fire? Yeah, these are your anti-crotch fire underwears. They're Superoos. They have basically cooling packs, but designed to what? You better watch out. You better not get your nuts stuck to that ball sack, to that cooling pack in the underoos pants, underwear. I'm gonna, let you know, because if you do that, then you'll get frostbite to those areas, and then what'll happen? You won't have any skin there. It'll rot off. So that's the only drawback to my underwear. I'm gonna go ahead and sell them anyway to everyone, just to help with population control measures on the earth. I figure since female gendercide's been an issue, why not passively aggressively just accept the change of, hey, the times they are changing. Now what we're seeing, the queen, she's dead. Now king, he's up. That means things are going to turn around. Now it's going to be time for all the men. Okay, everybody's going to be hating on all the men that are just like King Charles III. So now you men, you are all targets for extinction now. The tables have officially turned in the realms of the universe, and that is going to be manifest into your actual earthly realities. Look for that for the next wave of crimes. Bye-bye, Gabby. Good night. No more. We're going to be focusing on what's going to be the next trend in serial killing. Your white Anglo-Saxon Protestant male. And the Jewish American princess. Where are all the Jew princesses at? Stand up. What? Let me see what your Kabbalahs are at. Because that's what you're going to end up getting. That's going to be on your news. Those are going to be your new targets for serial killing. They're the new targets for envy. So anyone with penis envy, anyone with any type of, envy for anybody else, they're going to look to world leaders to feel less than upon. So instead of just appreciating King Charles III for his attempts to just be the best human he can, in spite of, whatever, people will instead, now he's going to be, oh, I wish I had, that. He's going to be feeling some different energy upon him. He may feel better in some way. I know he feels a lot of he feels more able to express himself now than ever before. To see him do anything but always smile. It was the very first time to even see him slightly lose his temper ever, or even express the slightest disdain, at his little desk and whatever. So what do you expect? His mom just died. So they got to go to work. So it sucks. That's why people get grumpy. So don't hold it against anybody royal, whatever they're doing, even if it's against their protocol. Just know your outrage is probably not your outrage. It's probably like all those dead ancestors. It's probably your dead ancestors' racism and not your racism. But it's your ancestors' racism that makes you believe, that might influence your opinion. So you have to be careful whenever you feel you have the ability to talk negative about a person or they didn't do something correct. Just know that nobody ever wants to bring out anything that's less than favorable about anyone's situation. So whenever we do, we have to always choose to learn from them and not just hate on them. We have to really focus on not Cinderella and how she looked when she smelled bad, scrubbing everyone's pubic hair or kitchen messes or cleaning up their feces or cleaning up their dirty female items. I don't know what other job Cinderella had when she was, having to live with her stepmother and her two evil stepsisters. You should refer to the Disney narrative, the Disney source book on that. That would be the book or the record. I have the record with the little book. Follow along with the lyrics. Watch with me. Flip the page. The record. Bibbidi bobbidi boo. Follow along. The words right there, Magoo. I recommend more of that in the app format on your iPhone. You'll just have to push a button on on the interface to the child can get the dopamine bliss of turning a page. Unfortunately, with the amount of plastic that's already in the ocean, I don't see an urge to mass produce any records for anybody to physically, tangibly experience anymore. You know, as far as I'm concerned, there are too many little ones that are having to ask for help now, or complaining about the situation on Earth created by all the older ones, or all the tall ones, or the big ones. These are just random thoughts coming through in my brain. I'm not suicidal. I'm not homicidal, okay? I'm just having a nice, retired, peaceful day in the heartland of the United States of America, located here in Northern California. All right? Gonna be home to Prince Harry and Princess Meghan. So welcome them with good, kind hearts and the intelligence to want to move forward and be something better than the examples, whatever crappy examples they have had in life. We never want to repeat for anyone, including ourselves. So whatever negative information you have heard or seen Prince Harry or Princess Meghan speak about in the public, just know that those interviewers, they are not medical specialists. They're not registered nurses. They are not people with a concern for humanity. And that's why those shows are popular. So we have to just respect everyone in their profession, because they most likely were hopefully intending to only do good and never have a harmful effect. Sorry for all the trouble, okay? I don't mean to sound shallow. It's just that, you know, with the amount of mourning going on for Queen Elizabeth II, I really just want to speak up and recognize it and just give her some time of my heart, because a lot of people are just showing up to go look at her body and they can't even see the body. She's been dead in that casket for how many days now? Since the 8th. Well, she hasn't been in the casket since the 8th, but she died on September the 8th. It's now September the 17th. Who was her embalmer? What are they doing for infection control? Because her body's been on the go since she died at the castle, at the Balmoral Castle in Scotland. So, you know, I'm just grateful that I got to see a documentary about her. They have the Sky channel on YouTube. I believe it's an Australia-based company. They do a really good job. They did a good job with putting together a presentation about Queen Elizabeth II's life. A very brief, concise, nice little history for an hour. It's wonderful. So, anyway, sometimes it's hard to tell if you're getting whatever. I don't care. Anyway, I'm just home. I'm probably going to go look at these $125 horses sooner than later. That way I don't just sit here and talk to myself. Well, I'm not just with myself, so I'm with my dog, so he hears me. I hear me. My phone hears me. That means all of China and Russia hear me, and North Korea and South Korea. They're just not saying anything, which I understand. So, no big deal. I'm not angry anymore, so I hope Edward Snowden, he's okay, or did he have a heart attack already? Because he's a light-skinned person. I don't know if he can handle much more stress going onward with this. You know, everybody has to just get over surveillance. Everybody just has to just get over, like, hey, you know, that's part of living in the Matrix, all right? So, there you go. There's your moment for your own personal contribution and participation in the American psychodrama created for you by United States government and Department of Justice, Homeland Security, right? For your protection and for your betterment, not just on your community level of existence, but also on your global presence, always looking for the best in others. And as we also fact check and data collect our neighbors, who lives around me now? I live in Gridley. It's tiny. If you come out here, you're going to get lost. You don't want to come here. You could go missing and no one would notice. There are only eagle eyes when there's like a eagle rock to perch on. There is no rock for eagles to fly here, honey. There's no rocks out here for an eagle. Where's an eagle gonna live out here? I don't live anywhere an eagle might live. I don't see any eagle eyes around me. I'm just out here all by myself, just living in total privacy in my loo, always just only with myself. Of course. No, Japan, they don't watch me in the bathroom. Never. No, I don't broadcast my daily caca or my bad habits to North Korea late. Somebody needs to do a documentary on the origin of the modern day toilet. How did you come to have a Mayfair toilet in your house? How did you come to have that Mayfair toilet lid in your baño? How? Where? From what shop did you acquire such a find? Please do tell me where you got this item. It's dandy. Yankee Doodle went to town, riding on his pony. Stuck a feather in his cap and called it macaroni. I'm reminded of that song by the advertisement of macaroni and cheese pizza over here in Northern California. What is influencing the global pizza market? You can tell me. I'll listen. Let's go with your opinion. 1, 2, woo woo. Here's mine coming through. Humboldt County, that's who. Humboldt County influences the global opinions about what pizza we want to eat today, especially over here in the northern side of the West Coast. Is the best coast. That's why Prince Harry and Princess Meghan are choosing to live here in California, because I am happy to have them here, and everybody should want to be American and rescue them and love them. Okay? So you have to. If we don't love these people, nobody will. You gotta love your little Rowan brothers and sisters. They're the redheaded ones. You gotta love the Cantrells. You have to love. You have to love your crows. You have to love your raven. You have to love all the animals of the outside. So you really have to love all the animals of the inside. And aren't you supposed to love the inside of the creature anyway more than the outside? So now, none of it matters. Nobody has any skin, or it's all just going to be radiated off anyway. Let's go with the electromagnetic frequency beams, Austin Powers style. Come on, my mini-me. Let's boom them up. Boomerang, boom, boo. Get out the giant ball and hit him in the head with that, too. Remember that? Austin Powers mini-me, tripod time. I didn't watch a lot of movies, but the ones I did watch, I loved. And so that's what I watched. Austin Powers, a lot of anything Michael Myers, anything Sprockets, anything Joe Dirt, okay? Anything Church Lady, all right? Anything Chris Farley, anything Chris Farley, anything Chris Farley, anything Chris Farley. In a van down by the river, all right? In a van, in a van, down by the river. Anything Chris Farley. Anything Stephen King. Who's mommy's favorite bedtime story writer? Stephen King. And his pseudonyms. And also mommy's other favorite bedtime story writer of the other gender, Anne Rice. So look those people up. Stephen King, that's an example of a real man. And then look up Anne Rice. That's an example of a real woman. And that's all. That's all you need to know for life. For that part of your day, you're questioning, you're wanting to know forever. That's all you need to know. Didn't take long to explain that one, did it? That's right, because these are easy questions that people should never, ever fear being confused about, nor demonstrate voluntary ignorance and not accepting for the truth ever again. It's called consequences, time, and right now, humanity, let's go, stating the universe's to-do list on you. Self-accountability coming on through. SA, which way? This way. I say SA for self-accountability. That's all. That's the only popular essay from now on is your self-accountable essay. That's the one. Essay. You comprende? Do you entiendo? You better. I sure hope you do. Okay. All right, Sister Sledge and brother too. I pet my doggy now. Just me and my dude. Just me and my dude. We sit here together. Me and my dude. He's breathing. Listen to my doge as he breathes. Weed does a doggy good, but before you introduce anything like that, you probably don't know what you're doing, so just don't. Okay, I don't want to hear about how you overdosed your dog because you tried to get it to be like mine, so don't copy me because you'll probably just mess it up. So just be careful with that, because you can always give it, but you can't take it back. When it comes to, unless you want to go get it back, are you going to take the med out of his stomach? No. So remember that. And some animals are unable to vomit. That's why I mentioned this. I was like, horses are not able to vomit. So if you over-medicate a horse, and it's something that you put in their stomach, and you have to go get it, that means you have to put a tube into their stomach. To do that, that means you're going to need anesthesia. That means a lot of money because it's a very dangerous thing to have to do if they're going to be able to fight you for it, because after all, who wants to be totally awake and have somebody put a tube from your mouth down, your throat, down your esophagus, making sure not to put it in your windpipe to make sure it ends up in your pyloric sphincter of your stomach to collect whatever it is that mommy or daddy put in there. So just know that. Or, somebody else. So they can't vomit. Horses, they are not able to vomit. And they can only breathe via their nares, their big horsey nares. They are not able to breathe through their mouth. So anytime you squeeze their nostrils, you're cutting off their air supply. And that's actually a way to help handle for safety. It's a communication technique. It's kind of like a mommy horse kind of saying no, but not hurting them, not freaking out. It's just a quiet way of showing, no, that's not good. Don't do that. It's a quiet way. In the animal kingdom, don't do that to an animal that may not have its physical needs met for food, water, and urination or defecation, or being too hot or too cold. Don't do any type of handling, I believe, for the best outcome for a person and for a beast is to never attempt to do new introductory type behaviors, new interaction settings, new environmental stimulus challenges with animals unless they have been, fed adequately hydrated and, offered and been able to urinate and, demonstrate adequate elimination of food, or, defecated, you've seen that they pooped around you, so their bowels are working, and what came out? Did they have diarrhea, or did it come out like rocks and do they have to strain to get that poo-poo out of their gut? These are things to look at that can tell you a lot about the overall health and immediate fluid and electrolyte and nutrition status and possible infection control status of a creature. And it's very important to pay attention to these creatures because we keep them in our abodes. We keep them hopefully safely in barns and hopefully safely in wonderfully irrigated and adequately and happily nutritionally sound and safe pastures and supplements of everything available to Equus currently, with the right appropriation and the right intentions and the right discipline and daily habits, all focused on attention to care for the proper order of how to do things when it comes to living with other creatures. What do you pay attention to? What's the most important thing? Well, let's start with the basics of life. How about just your cells? How about we keep your resting membrane potential within normal limits so you'll be able to radar or get radioactive because you got radioactive poisoning and then die off the planet. That's a method of population control. That's called nuclear weapons. That's what President Putin will probably do to people who annoy him any further. Currently, those people annoying the Russian military, President Putin's military that is, are the people of Ukraine who are actively opposing the Russian military with their foreign supply of hopefully no more United States donated money and weapons. I wouldn't want to be a part of the crowd that's supporting yellow and blue Ukraine. I believe if you are part of that crowd supporting yellow and blue flagged Ukraine, just know that is in direct opposition to the force of the red, white, and blue of President Putin's Russia, and that is also in direct opposition to the red, white, and blue of your forefathers, United States of America. So when you align with Ukraine, you align for nuclear extinction. Align with Russia, because you need to align with the red, white, and blue before you guys are all through. Does that make sense to you, Magoos? You private investigator types that want to understand why. It's very simple. This is politics. You don't understand. So first of all, that's the first rule. As people looking in, as citizens of the globe, we do not know what is on these politicians' minds of why they are doing what they do. All right? So just accept that is a condition called living on the earth. Sometimes there are wars in other parts of the earth that you are not going to be able to do anything about. So you just sit at home, okay, and you leave those people alone and try to understand what is going on. You want to be nosy? You want to come look? Okay, you'll probably get shot. I advise nobody go travel there. How about we just look historically? Or how about not? How about just think about immediate safety? That means what color do you see? Do you want to see the color of red? Only red? Keep on cheering for Ukraine. That's what's going to happen to you. Okay? Because President Putin, he's going to win. All right? Just the sheer numbers alone. So if you're cheering for a country that's not able to provide for, its own needs, and it's not anybody's job to feel sorry for anybody. All right? Okay? They were once a part of, something bigger than them, and it's probably time for them to go back to being part of something bigger than them. And that's me speaking my personal retired Air Force opinion about Ukraine versus Russia. Ukraine, make peace with Russia. But probably too late now, because this is never playtime when it comes to human lives. So we need to support President Putin all the way. We cannot have President Zelensky and President Putin on the earth at the same time. I vote for President Putin to live. And I vote for everybody opposed to me to get on an airplane, take your personal jet plane, leaving on your jet plane for the new homeland of Ukraine. Go Kardashians. Bye-bye. Right now. And Bruce Jenner, Tropicana, Caitlyn Jenner, how nice to meet you. Pollyanna, you may also take your personal jet and fly with all the trannies you can ride. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, bye-bye, bye. I'm happy to support Kanye West in his new ventures as American businessman. Let's hear it for Kanye West, the new face of American modern business practices. China, you ain't good enough. China, you ain't good enough. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. I ain't gonna put my factory out. What? Not here by Yangtze, but it's all rotten and flooding away. That's why Kanye can't build, and they're not gonna make his jeans over there today in China. All right? So support Kanye West and Kim Kardashian too, because that's his baby mama. So now we got the baby mama, Allie, and baby daddy, Allie, built into the fabric of 2022, coming through to you via Kanye West and Kim. So be kind, be intelligent, be different. All right? We don't care that somebody saw Kim without her underwear. We really are just happy that she survived the childbirth process with Kanye's seed and does not, have any problems with that. Well, now she does surrogacy. I don't know what's going on, but I don't have any more kids. Nobody. You don't have to. All right? Please stop. I support Kendall Jenner. So, yeah. It's time to get it together, everybody. Okay? All right. Bye. I pet my dog. That's really all for now,